So today we're talking about one of the seven Hermetic laws, one of the universal laws, the law of mentalism. Uh, I feel that this conversation could really help somebody when really trying to discover a foundational principle for spirituality and working with energy and understanding yourself on a deeper level. A lot of times we find ourselves confused because there's a lot of different ideologies and a lot of different ideas, and we don't know which way to turn. And then we try to focus on things on a personal level, how to deal with our relationships and how to deal with our family and how to really express ourselves and things of that nature. And everything just seems like so much. But I feel as though the reason for that is that nobody's actually teaching, nobody's really explaining the information. Even if we do read for ourselves, it really takes an interpreter because the way that information is written, it isn't written for you to digest and then to assimilate and for you to adopt. Now, you might can understand it on an intellectual level, but the actual ritualistic components of spirituality needs to be translated and understood. And that's why I'm putting this video out, because it's possible that, a shift in your perception can really shift your whole entire reality. And having this foundational information can be that shift that you need. So first, just to explain the law is defined by the all is mind and the universe is mental. And so it's not read to a group of individuals. This is read to an individual who may be reading this book or receiving this knowledge. This is spirituality can be shared, but it's not intended on being shared. So when you understand the things that you read are particularly for you, you have to begin to accept and understand your calling. And so as we move forward and we understand why we may be depressed or why we may be confused, or why we may even want things and desire certain things, is because at the core of our being, at the core of our understanding, we are lack. We have turned a wrong direction. We have turned the wrong way. And so different effects and different situations may trigger that core sadness. That sadness is within you and it is just waiting to be triggered or waiting to be ignited. So once we begin to shift our perception and reality, we won't be triggered because we will be moving in a whole different direction, and we will know our purpose, and we will know which way we're to go, and we will know what to say, and we will know what to do, and we wouldn't be confused because we realize this key component of Hermetic law and universal law, that all is mind, the universe is mental. So when we speak on the all represents spirit. If all is mind, then all is spirit. And spirit is just not something that make you want to jump up and down and say hallelujah in church. Spirit is not being a part of the cheerleading squad. Spirit actually in this context is speaking, because understand that if we grew up in school and they said you want to join the spirit squad, and then as you grew up as an adult and you read, and you're talking about spirit, naturally your mind would just key into what you've already understood spirit to be. So you would only think spirit in the terms of what you've initially been experienced to know what spirit is. And so in an earlier context, spirit referred to the unknowable, the universal, infinite, and living substance and understanding of your reality. Spirit was the code or the key that one could tap into. So when you say the all is mine, you're saying everything in existence is within your mind. This is a reality that you live with. And you may not know is because you've been subjugated since you've been born. You've been told that you're a man or a woman, that you're black and you're from here. And since you're from here, you do this. And if you don't do this, then you do that. And what they do over there is not what we do over here. So make sure that you're on your best behavior and staying in a line and walking a single file line. And you understand? So you do not realize that you've accepted what people have told you up until you want to get into consciousness. And so you think that consciousness is wearing a particular outfit, dressing a particular way, identifying with a particular group of people. But consciousness is not a social club. It's not a social construct. Consciousness is a way for you to tap into your unlimited potential. Spirit is the substance that gives you the ability to access your unlimited potential. So when I speak of consciousness in all of my videos, I'm not speaking of it so you can be, feeling some type of way. I'm speaking it so you don't have to worry, so you don't have to struggle, so you can be in prosperity, so you can be happy, so you can be in a relationship, so you can love your children, so you can be closer to the people that you love, so you can make proper decisions, so you can tap into your purpose. This is the spirit that colloquially we are referring to. We're not speaking to the all. See, if I said this, the spirit is in the mind, then you would just think of an old lady jumping up and down in church. You wouldn't understand what actually they're saying when they say that the all is mine. Now you can figuratively understand it, but to fully understand it, you have to begin to live that way. Okay? And this is what the next step, this is the next frontier. So we've read all the books. We've gained all the knowledge. Now we have to start living that way. That's the new frontier. Now we have to incorporate it into our conversations. So, the world is simply a creation of the all. Everything in the world once existed in someone's mind. And from that point, creation existed. Everything that you experience is a result of previous thinking. So, if you're in a place where you're unhappy, depressed, etc., it's because of the previous thinking that was incorrect. And so you could be successful in one area, my friend, but be unsuccessful in a completely other area. So don't take the areas that which you are successful in and build upon that and avoid the areas of which you're unsuccessful, or use the things that you're successful to cover up or make or try to avoid the things that you're unsuccessful with. It's important that you realize that there is nothing that you're bad at. If you feel that you're bad at it, that's your acceptance and that's what you perceive to be. And I mean, as far as if you can't get the job, or you can't get the girl, can't get this or can't get that, that is something that you've chosen to accept. So, this is why we have to talk about these things. Understanding that you control your reality and you control your perception, this is the key to all things. if you want to move forward in your ability to manifest and your ability to incorporate spirituality into your physical reality, you have to have the proper perception. If you have no faith in yourself, I'm trying to understand the logic and wishing for things to grow or be at a certain level, but you have no faith in yourself.
You haven't planted the seed, haven't watered the seed.
You don't even realize that you have a garden. Okay? You have an infinite opportunity to access your mind. You can think anything that you want to think into existence. Now, if you didn't know that for the past 47 years, you may have created some things that you did not like, okay? You may have been in some situations that didn't really make you too happy, or whatever the case may be in particular areas. That is okay. Because just as you can create negative situations, you can create positive situations. And this is something that has to happen on a daily basis. This is something that has to be incorporated and lived now. This is not something that we can talk about. Mentalism is the theory that physical and psychological phenomena are ultimately explicable only in terms of a creative and interpretative mind. So, understanding spirituality, consciousness at a foundational level requires creativity and enthusiasm and the ability to interpret. Okay? You have to decode. You have to understand. You cannot take everything at face value. Okay? You have to dig deeper and figure out the core of the issue. And you have to be enthusiastic about your spiritual transformation and spiritual awakening. You can't kind of do it on the sneak tip and do it on the hide and seek and be something else to people that you're trying to impress at this point, moving forward. 5 years ago, maybe even 5 days ago, you could get away with it. But as we move into this age, your truth will be the only thing that you have to protect you. Your ability to self-identify. So, if you do not identify with your infinite, immortal soul, then you are identifying with the concept that someone else created so they could take advantage of you, so they could use you, so they could manipulate you. So you have to take control of your perception. You have to see yourself as you truly are. You cannot continue to see yourself as a vehicle, and we cannot have conversations. This is not Cars. We are not in the movie Cars. We are souls. We have an inheritance. We have a destiny far beyond this human existence. Who we are cannot be. Nobody can tell you who you are, okay? Nobody can tell you who you are. So, understanding that you must create the vision of yourself and not the human vision, the spiritual vision for yourself, who you are spiritually. Because before you existed on this planet, you existed. And after you exist on this planet, you still will exist. So this is what I speak to. Perception. When we understand consciousness, truly, we have to respect people's perceptions, people's vantage points. What I see from the roof, you're not going to see on the first floor. That don't make me better. That don't make you worse. That just means we see different perspectives. We have different perceptions. This is a fact. This is a fact. That's a fact. So when people have opinions and perceptions and how they view themselves, how they view the world, you cannot tell them that they're wrong. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, but understand that you don't know their vantage point. You don't know their perspective. So you only can have your own perception, and your perception of them, that they may be wrong. That's something that you have to understand within yourself, that that person's perception is wrong. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to call the police? Are you going to call their mama? Like, you figure out what you're going to do after you make your proper perception. But ultimately, we're speaking on a spiritual perception, a perception of the infinite reality of the soul that exists in every waking moment you exist. Your conscious mind that you value. So say for instance, you have something that's plaguing you on your conscious mind, something that you're depressed about. Okay? The whole time you're depressed, guess what's happening? Your heart is beating, you're breathing, your lungs is moving, your bowels are moving, your arms and extremities are working, your eyes are going left and right, your mouth is moving. Okay? When you go to sleep, when you stress for 12 hours about some guy that don't text you back, and you fall asleep, guess what's still happening? Your heart is still beating, you're still breathing. Because leave it up to you. If you had to decide whether to keep your heart beating, to breathe, or stress over a nigga, you would stress over a nigga and die. So we're not talking about perception on a conscious level. It's a complete waste of time. Whether you like something or hate something, it does not matter. The only perception that matters in your whole existence is your perception of your soul. That's the only thing that matters, because everything consciously takes care of itself. Crackheads have babies. Heroin addicts have babies. So nothing that you can do can stop the force of nature in life, basically. Even if you're a flawed individual. You could have a perfect diet and perfect health and go to every birthing specialist on the planet. If that baby doesn't want to be on this earth, then that baby is not going to be on this earth. He's going to figure out a way to check the fuck out of here. And it's up to you to understand that souls come to earth and they leave the earth. But that doesn't mean that that person has died or passed away. That means that they just ascended to a different level. And you'll ascend to that level one day too. That's a fact. That day is coming. That day is coming for us all. So it's our responsibility to understand our soul and understand what's going to happen, instead of dreading, instead of fearing, instead of not having the conversation. Perception is reality. Things are how you think they are. How you think they are, that's what things are. If things are horrible, that's what they are. If you can't get anybody, if you're ugly, guess what? You're ugly as shit. Because self-identification is the number one rule to this. Because I can tell you that you're beautiful. I can see beauty in you.
I think that's who I am.
Huh?
But I think that's who I am.
Yeah.
That I am.
According to your faith, so be it unto you. Who are you? What do you want to be? Let's create the goal. Let's create the point of reference that we're striving for, that we're trying to get to. And let's do the damn thing. Let's do it. The act of observing alters the reality of being observed. So if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? No or yes. I don't know. Whether you say yes or no, it's an argument for both cases. So since I didn't observe it, then no, it didn't make a sound, because only things that I can experience are the things that I observe. The only things that I can care about are the things that I observe. So change your observation to something more satisfying. Okay? If you think that a car or a job or a man or a situation is going to make you feel better, let me tell you right now, before we go any further, you're wrong. You only have this moment. Everything else is an illusion. It is up for grabs, my nigga. You do not know tomorrow. I live in Ohio. The way these potholes be, I'm sure half of a whole block gonna disappear sooner or later. This shit don't make no sense. I don't even know what's happening. I'm driving on the sidewalk trying to avoid potholes nowadays. Like, shit is crazy. But that to say that the future is an illusion. The future is something that never comes. The only thing that we have is this moment. And yeah, it's a cliche, but it's just the reality. We only live in the moment that we have. I just want to bring up the tarot card, the Aeon, card 20 in the Thoth Tarot deck. You have to understand that your sky is your sky. Your ground is your ground. Your walls are your walls. Your soul is your soul. Your life is your life. Your babies are your babies come from your loins. You know, your reality is that for which you create, that which you visualize. My life has been something that I've created. I've created my life so long ago that all I have to do is simply experience it. You understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? You've created this a long time ago. Just enjoy the ride. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Change your perception to your reality, your inner reality. The different levels of existence, the different bodies that you exist, your astral body, your causal body, your emotion body. Like, tap into this reality that is you. It's so much that you need to learn about you, that you've been wasting so much time reading about other people, that you need to start to invest in you and your spirituality and your spiritual nature and your information. Because if you're listening to me in this video and you made it this far, let me tell you this: your spirit is begging you to notice it. It wants you to deal with it so much, because your soul, your spirit, your infinite reality, it cannot benefit anyone else. It was designed to benefit you. So why not pay it any attention? Change your perception, change your reality. And we're not talking about the perception of what your mama wore to church on Sunday, or what Ted and them doing at the liquor store. Like, that's not the perception that we're talking about. We're talking about changing your whole entire perception inward. Everything to the soul. You're not losing, you're gaining. You're gaining, okay? The first thing that we need to do is decide what we truly, truly want. Ultimately, the problem is not that we don't get what we want. The problem is that we don't know what we want. So, let's really be clear on what we want. And if we don't know truly what we want, let's start with what we don't want. And then write the opposite. So you find out what you want and keep working it. Keep refining it every day. Make sure that you have in this moment the idea what you want. And if it changes, shit, let it change. Don't stay fixed on something that you don't want. Because you said it. It don't matter if you've been working on some shit 10 years. If you don't want it no more, you don't want it. You got to start satisfying what you truly want. And refining and working towards it on a daily basis. And I know that you can do it because you can change your perception to your soul, and your soul is infinite, ultimate, abundant, prosperous, joyous. I know this, but this external world is nothing like that. It's the opposite of that. So the first step, Law of Mentalism, man. Deciding to be clear on what you truly want. And just keep working it. And understanding that perception is reality. The thing of it is that everything that you've been doing up to this point, you've worked so hard to create this false narrative for yourself. You've worked hard. You've had to tell yourself every day, I ain't shit. It wasn't easy to get to the point to feel like, because when you was little, so now as a grown person, you have to realize that you have to now work double hard to change your reality to a positive shift. If you was 30 years being unconscious, now being conscious and changing your shift and working with your soul, now it's not going to happen overnight. Nor should it. Because once you accomplish everything that you need to accomplish in this lifetime, guess what happens, guys? Bye-bye. See you later. So if you want to live a long, fruitful life, then make a life of achieving a long-term goal. Right? What's wrong with a 20-year goal or a 40-year goal? And make life worth living. And if you don't want it, then why the hell is you working towards it? A lot of people are in situations right now that they don't want, but they're committed to it. And they're going further into not wanting this. Instead of changing your perception and say, you know what? I want to be in a happy relationship. So I'm moving towards having a happy relationship. Are you down with this? No, you're not down with this? Okay, I'm going to find it somewhere else. That simple. Your world is how you choose to view it. The world is not a reflection of the world. The world is a reflection of you. They need your attention to say, I ain't even going to say it. I ain't even going to mention it. I am whatever. The world needs you to say that you reflect of this world, that you came from a particular piece of stupid ass land. What the fuck land ever did? Like, just being born somewhere made me special. That doesn't matter. What matters is your soul and your spirit. Because once you tap into your soul and your spirit, you begin to identify yourself. I'm a fucking unicorn. I'm a part of the unicorn race. Got a unicorn constitution. Everything I do is unicorn. Where you from? Unicornia, nigga. That's where I'm from. It's my world. I created. Don't let people take that from you so you can feel comfortable and so niggas can pat you on the back but really be stabbing your ass. That's just how it is in the world. So you have to start to create your own reality. Stop trying to be down with niggas. Be down with yourself. Be down with your soul. And that's the law of mentalism. I'm not going to make any commitments to do any other more videos like this. I'm just seeing how it goes. See if people is interested. What I'm starting to do now is just create more content, create more solutions, because what I notice is that I have friends and they talk to me, but it's more onto the level where they really be having problems. And I'm just like, do the spiritual thing. And they just like, yeah, but, and I'm just like, no, like, I'm not that type of person. It's not spiritual but with me. I've spent too much time and energy into developing my spirituality to kind of regress into like human conversations and human conditions. It's important that we rise, and if people are not going to raise me up, then I guess it's my responsibility to raise others, and that's fine with me. So if you're interested in a reading or counseling or workshops or what we're doing, because we're doing a lot, email me at hood HOOD mystic MYSTIC at gmail.com, and we can continue the conversation there. It's the Hood Mystic, the Law of Mentalism. I'm out. Good evening, family.